I want to first just thank everyone for being patient with us. We didn't know we'd get locked out of town hall.
Trying to tell us something.
I know.
This is the Town of Saugus Zoning Board of Appeals meeting on March 27th, 2025. The Zoning Board of Appeals is made up, we have several members, including 5 regular members plus 2 alternates. They are Peter Rossetti, Stephanie Romano, Bob Northrop, myself, Tom Travis, Stacy Herman, and Frank Federico, and John Cannon. And tonight we have missing a regular member, Chris Riley. We start off with a pledge of allegiance to the flag, led by our veteran John Cannon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The way we normally conduct our hearings is generally informal. We follow the agenda as appeared in publication in the newspaper advertisement. If anyone is under any particular issue regarding to be heard out of order, please let me know at this time. Seeing none, we'll proceed in order. Noting none, I will continue. You are before this board because you are planning to do something to your property is not in conformance with the requirements of zoning bylaws. The 3 things are a variance for some dimensional relief, a special permit to do something to your property, or to appeal against the decision of the building inspector. I've asked all the board members to view the properties and to prepare to make decisions this evening. Once the board has made its decision, the clerk will have 14 days to prepare the decision and get the decision to the town clerk to be stamped in and filed in an official record. I skip over a little bit of this to let everyone know that on Monday morning they can call Stephanie and she'll fill them in on the procedures on how to file from that point. If at the end of the 21-day appeal period there's no appeal, file the town clerk. You may get a copy of the board's decision time-stamped by the town clerk, and then you need to take that to the registry of deeds to get it recorded with your deed. Once this is done, you will bring the decision, which now has a recording number, back to town hall and inspectional services. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Seeing none. At this time, I'll ask everyone who wishes to speak this evening to be sworn in at one time. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Just a couple, before we get into agenda, just a couple pieces, things I wanted to mention. People get notified when they're within 300 feet of the properties in question. That list comes from, provided to our clerk Stephanie from the assessor's office. Okay, we don't make the decision, we don't decide who gets them. Other than that, what goes on here tonight will be public, required in the newspapers. Okay, so we've had some complaints that people haven't heard on things. That's because they're outside of the 300-foot area. Okay, taking things in order. The first one, it's on the petition of George Nickley Family Trust. And you're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation. Rebecca Properties LLC, owners of the property at 799/799 Rear Broadway, lot number 16, plan number 1036, on behalf of Raising Cane, seeking the variance for a 67.52 square foot pictorial rep sign identifying as One Love Heart with the word Saugus under the heart on the drive-in wall, 4x8 aluminum panel depicting a dog wearing a hat and sunglasses on the east wall, and 4x8 wall sign over the east side drive-through window, 228.63 square foot drive-through menu boards with speaker post adjacent, and one 8.31 square foot pre-cell board at the entrance to the drive-in through lanes. And I can see that the petitioner's attorney is here.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Please just identify yourself for the record this second.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Attorney Richard Magnum of Lot 194 Central Street here in Saugus, representing Raising Cane's. With me here this evening is Sarah Holmes, Regional Property Manager. The board is familiar with the site. It's on Route 1, as you know, and has been observed being constructed and erected. We previously had board action approving the pylon sign, which was originally with the Nicolay name on it, added to a Raising Cane sign. That was approved by the board maybe a year ago. We also had a One Love sign, which was a canopy approved some time ago, maybe 6 months. Now, in order to satisfy the building inspector in terms of the number of signs that are involved on the building and the menu boards and the order boards, the board was provided with the application of brand book showing a plan of the entire site with the letters designating the items that are asked for this evening, some of which are actually not signs in the sense of having lettering on them, but they are murals. And I think based on the decision of the board in Capworld and the artwork done there, the board is considering that to be signs, so we are including that in our application. I think the application was self-explanatory, and the plan and the brand book provide all the information the board needs. And with that, we would be subject to any questions the board might have.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Rowland?
Does the dog belong to someone?
Sarah?
Yes, that's the namesake, so that is Raising Cane.
Okay,
So that's the first one.
okay. And the fish and is it a golf ball and hard hat number 1, does that mean something?
Yes, sir. So that is symbolizing when Todd Graves, our founder, when he was starting Raising Cane's, the first one, he was a college student, straight out of college with no money, and a bank wouldn't finance him, so he took jobs. He was a salmon fisherman. He worked on an oil rig, so that's the hard hat. Cane, his dog. And then the disco ball was because the first location is actually outside of LSU campus. And then the number 1 is because that's his passion, is serving a craveable chicken finger meal. So he really loved chicken so much he decided to throw that in there.
Okay. Okay. Other than that, the usual restrictions as far as things like lights being turned off after an hour after closing, that kind of thing. Also, just the volume on the order menu. There aren't any houses directly abutting, but sometimes, particularly late at night, sound carries. So if they could just be sensitive to that in case it does disturb people.
Yes, sir. And we have auto sound system that turns that noise down, but you are correct. The menu boards actually face towards Route 1 and do not face any residential properties. But lights, we are compliant, and they are on a switch, so they automatically turn off after closing.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
I would think too, the only butter that could probably hear it is the property owner.
Yeah, correct. He is behind us.
What are the hours of operation?
So we just recently went in front of Board of Selectmen. And so they approved us, I believe, till it was 1:30. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
1:30, I think, on Friday and Saturdays. Then I think it's earlier on.
Yeah.
Earlier during the week.
Yeah. That was the outside time.
Any other questions from the board? I know we looked at this, for you who were here, we did look at this somewhat before and knew that Mr. Magna was going to bring the client back. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions? Seeing none, when do you expect to open your,
We're trying to
Just curiosity.
open, we're trying to open on April 15th, but
Oh,
we
really?
do, we-
Is that
we're
quick?
still working through with the town engineering on the closeout process.
all right, so at least within 30 days or open.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Mr. Chairman, move to close the public hearing.
Second.
second, okay, and who would like to read this one?
Read it in. Okay, on the petition of George Nicoli Family Trust, Rebecca Properties LLC, owner of property at 799/799R Broadway, Lot 16, Plan 1036, on behalf of Raising Cane's, seeking variance for a 67.52 square foot pictorial representation sign identified as One Love Heart with the word Saugus under the heart on the drive-through wall. We're gonna do these all at once?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, drive-through wall. 4x8 aluminum panel depicting a dog wearing a hat and sunglasses on the east wall. A 4x8 wall sign over the east side of the drive-through windows. Two 28 by .63 square foot sign. Drive-through menu boards with speaker post adjacent, and one 8.31 square feet three-cell board at the entrance to the drive-through lanes. And grounds for the variance would be the topography of the lot and the soil conditions and shape of the lot. Oh, and condition would be that the outside lights be turned off 1 hour after closing.
Okay. Also, I was lax in saying that this is a 5-member board, and we have 7 people here tonight. So on each issue, we'll only have 5 of us will be voting and making motions, and we'll identify before the petition which ones are sitting out. Okay? The ones that sit out can still participate in conversation, ask questions. They just can't make a motion or they won't be vote. On this first one, Mr. Federico and Ms. Herman will be sitting out. Okay? Stephanie?
Second. Second?
I need,
Thank you. Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Northrup?
Yes.
Mr. Travers?
Yes. All right, that passes.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Thank you all.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
On number 2.
Number 2 is being continued anyway, John.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was the next one.
That's okay. On number 2, on the petition of TB Holdings, LK Holdings, LLC, 40 Collins Ave, LLC and MTB Development, LLC owners and the property at 15, 22, 26, 30, 40, and 44 Collins Ave, lot number 13, 15, 59, plan number 2030, seeking a variance for 26.8 side yard setback with 15 setback used to be required and currently 100 feet is required. And I received letters, Mr. Magnus representing this petition, we received letters asking for a continuance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, again for the record, Richard Magnan, Law Office 194 Central Street here in Saugus, representing TB Holdings, which is the site of Essex Landing, as you know. Due to the fact that there was a misunderstanding in the application, only one of the 2 variances that were being sought was part of the legal notice. And as such, the applicant felt that the 2 variances, one on height and one on setback, were interrelated enough that they should be held at or heard at a single hearing. And for that reason, we're requesting a continuance, which I provided in writing to the board and to the clerk, and also filed today the original application, again with the building inspector and the clerk, for hearing at your next meeting.
Why do we have 2 letters, Mr. Magny?
I got carried away.
Paid by the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
isn't there a new bylaw that was voted on last town meeting that this would actually have to go in front of the Board of Selectmen and not the...
That's why Mr. May, that's why he's asked for a
Okay.
continuance. So
Yeah,
everything
there's a
can be
little confusion
clarified.
on the most recent amendment, because originally the height of buildings in the B2 district and the BHSD district were the jurisdiction solely of the Board of Selectmen. However, the amendment to the bylaw, most recent amendment to the BHSD section of the bylaw, restricts the Board of Selectmen from going above a certain height, which then generates the need to come to this board because they're restricted from going beyond a certain height, and this particular application goes a few feet beyond that.
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Motion to close.
Second?
Okay. And regarding the continuance, I have a motion.
Motion to grant the continuance.
And that's been seconded by Mr. Rossetti. Stephanie,
Mr.
on the
Rossetti?
continued?
Sorry, Mr. Rossetti.
Yes.
Ms. Romano.
Yes.
Mr. Cannon.
Yes.
Mr. Northrup.
Yes.
Mr. Travis.
Yes.
Thank you to the board.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me.
On the petition of 2 Amici Realty LLC, owners of property at 1539 Broadway, lots number 113 through 115, Plan 3004, on behalf of Dunkin' Donuts, seeking a variance to allow for the replacement of existing drive-up elements with new drive-up elements, including a digital menu board. And it's petitioner here.
Hi, yes. My name is Sean Donovan, and I'm with,
Stephanie, you get this?
yep,
I'm sorry, yes.
yep, Sean
Oh, no,
Donovan,
no.
Plant Sign. We're the installer
Okay.
of the structure that will hold the digital menu boards, and they call it an all-point canopy, and they also a clearance bar.
But really, it seems like you're doing an awful lot. You're just switching it up.
Yeah, well, it's an existing drive-through, as we know. So what they have is, at the menu board is also the order point. So you pull up, it's a static menu, and the speaker's built into it. So what this is, it's a new concept, well, not new anymore, but like since 2018, Dunkin' Donuts have these order point canopies. The canopy gives shelter to the people placing the order. In this particular case, they call it an all-in-one because they don't have the space. So the all-in-one has 2 armatures that have enclosures that will house the menu displays. And they are 55-inch Samsung displays, because in today's day and age, all menus are pretty much digital and automatic. So that's why it's called the all-in-one. So you have the speaker for the ordering, the overhang for the shelter, and then the digital menu displays.
Okay. Again, Stephanie and John, you're out on these.
Yeah.
Do I have any questions from the board?
Chairman?
Mr. Rossetti?
The digital menus, they don't actually touch the menu to order, do they?
No, and it's a static display. You know, if you've been to a Dunkin' Donuts, the board you see up above the counter where you're placing your orders,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
You know, it's just the days of switching out numbers and changing items is gone. So
It doesn't change to show different things?
nope, it stays pretty static. You know, the only thing that might change is periodically if an item for a seasonal, you know, like they may change a culotta flavor or something like that, or, you know, seasonal things might go in.
Okay.
And it's automatic.
Okay. And the other issue is the height warning thing?
Yeah, the height detector. So the height detector will serve the purpose of protecting the order point canopy. So an oversized vehicle doesn't pull down there, hit the order point canopy. And then as you come around the corner, there's also a canopy over the drive-through window. Used to be an awning, now it's a canopy that the general contractor put up. That's the point of the height detector. It's a warning clearance height bar.
Okay. So if you hit the drive-through sign,
Yeah,
the
stop.
warning that you tells you not to
You'll
hit.
know.
Be surprised how many get hit.
Okay, and on that height detector, the only thing is it says drive.
Yeah, and it's branded, and that's sort of the gateway to the drive-through lane.
Okay, no problem.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Seeing none, what would you like to do? Mr. Norfolk? Want to read it in? Close the hearing first, and then read it in? Close the hearing first.
Make a motion to close the
Make a
hearing.
motion to close.
Hearing.
Second.
Second, now you can read it in.
All right. On the petition of 2 Amici Realty LLC, owner of property at 1539 Broadway, lot number 113-115, plan 3004, on behalf of Duncan, seeking a variance to allow for the replacement of existing drive-up elements with new drive-up elements, including a digital menu board. Well, that's a variance.
Size, shape, topography.
Due to the size, shape, and
And
topography.
a special permit for the board that proposed the addition would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood
Well,
in the
this is a
existing
variance, right?
non-conforming.
This is variance.
And the variance is granted due
This
to
is a
the
variance.
shape of soil typography which affect this land and position on the lot.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right.
Do we, in a previous one, have we already put in the part about turning off lights and that kind of thing?
I believe we're following the same general guidelines that we were. It's still shutting off light. Were you open,
Yeah.
they open 24/7?
I just actually looked up their hours. They, on Monday through Friday, I think they open at like 3:30 a.m., and they're closed by 7 p.m. And yes, everything would shut down.
An hour after close.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
especially this menu, it'll go dark.
Okay. Stephanie?
Mr. Rosetti?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cannon. Nope, I'm sorry. Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Mr. Norfolk?
Yes.
Ms. Romano? No. And Ms.
Herman?
Herman? Yes. Sorry. And Mr. Travis?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, so John and Bob are out on this one. On the petition of Sean Grant, owns a property at 67 Summer Street, lots number 15 through 21, plan number 1003, seeking a special permit to remove existing house and rebuild within the same footprint, adding a 5.5 times 9.5-inch deck and variances for pre-existing 69-foot frontage to 100 is required. 16,515 square foot lot size where 20 is required, and a 10.7 side yard setback from the house where 15 is required, and a 7.9 side yard setback from the existing garage where 15 is required. Mr. Green, your name and address
Yeah,
first.
Sean Grant, 67 Summer Street. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And just give us a general idea of what you're looking to do.
So my wife and I, Jean, who's sitting in the corner, recently undertook the daunting task of trying to renovate the house. We initially were hoping to just renovate it as is. Given the age of the home and what is needed to bring it up to code, and also to meet the goals and objectives of the heat ordinance that has now come into play, we quickly realized that it would probably be cheaper to take it down to the ground and rebuild it, possibly modular. It would meet the goals and objectives of meeting the the ordinance requirements, updating the heating and electricity, and also establishment of the insulation requirements that are due today, and making the house more energy efficient.
The only comment I really have, you're gonna have to work on closely with inspectional services.
Yeah.
There's so many guidelines involved.
Yeah.
Asbestos removal, historical society gets involved, because of the age of the house probably, conservation if there's any wetlands. It's a task.
Yep.
In itself. I just wanna make sure you're aware of it and don't get the big surprises down the road when the historical society is saying something foolish, because your house is 125 years old or something.
Yep.
You'll have to deal with it, okay?
Yep.
Do I have any questions from the board?
What state is the project in now? Has any work started demo on the interior?
No work has been done at present.
Okay, and what's the main issue that's making you tear it down as far as, is it the stretch energy code that's causing
Yeah,
the issue?
the energy code is the biggest concern.
Not being able to achieve the R value in the,
Yeah, I mean, the existing structure itself, we just, realistically, we're not going to be able to meet. I've talked to the building inspector,
yep,
and he understands trying to retrofit this house to meet the modern
yeah.
standards is going to be difficult. And quite honestly, it would be more efficient for me to do it. We like the structure, we like the house, and that's why we want to keep it in the same footprint.
Absolutely.
Anything else from the board?
Yeah. Are you staying in the same footprint of the foundation now, or are you adding on?
So the only additional thing that we're going to be adding on is in the back portion of the house.
Is the foundation staying, or are you taking the foundation?
Taking the
apart?
foundation out.
Okay.
In order to meet the heat efficiency requirements, the basement would
Are
be.
you going any deeper with the foundation?
No.
And I assume a French drain around the perimeter? Is that in your plans?
Hasn't yet. I mean, it would come down to cost, but I mean, definitely. I mean, we get a fairly high elevation considering from the back.
Okay.
So it's something, obviously, to prevent any future damage in the future,
That was gonna
it's wiser to put it in now.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is there going to be any regrading the land surrounding the foundation?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Rosari?
the garage and shed, those are both going to stay
They're
as
staying.
they are.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not touching those at all.
Any other comments from the board? Does anybody else them? Nope. Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, what's the wish of the board? Did I have a second on closing the issue?
Second. I'll read it. On the petition of Sean Grant, owner of the property at 67 Summer Street, lot number 15 through 21, plan number 1003, seeking a special permit to remove existing home and rebuild within the same footprint, adding a 5.5 foot by 9.5 foot deck. I move to grant the special permit on the grounds that it would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Okay, let's, on the special permit, Stephanie? Do I have a second?
Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rossetti, seconds?
Yes.
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Ms. Harmon?
Yes.
Mr. Travers?
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman.
We're not done.
Variance.
Just did the special permit.
As
Now we're
the
gonna do the variance.
The variance is for pre-existing 69-foot frontage where 100 feet is required, a 16,515 square foot lot size where 20,000 is required, and a 10.7 foot side yet setback from the house where 15 feet is required, and a 7.9 foot side yard setback from the existing garage where 15 feet is required. I move to grant the variance due to the shape, soil, the topography, and the way the house is positioned on the land.
And I have a second from Mrs. Federico.
Correct. Yes, I second.
You want to put a condition on the single family?
On a condition that the house remain a single-family home, although with the new,
80.
The new
And
rules
you rules, I think that's kind of a moot point.
at this point. Like,
We are not looking.
I'm just saying, I think that probably.
I get into enough trouble with my better half than I do with anybody else.
An accessory unit in their home now.
Yep.
Under the new governor's guidelines. So to say that it could remain a single family home, we can still say that, but doesn't mean you can't add
Yep.
an ADU at some point. I need a second on that, the variances? Federico and Stephanie?
Ms. Roday?
yes.
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Ms. Harmon? Yes.
Yes.
Okay to say thank you now, Chairman? Thank you very much. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right. So let's see, Stephanie and Bob are out on this one. On the petition of RJ Investments LLC, owners of property at 24 Palmetto Street, removing lot number 403, plan number 1031, seeking a special permit to add a 576 square foot addition and remove existing garage and variances for a pre-existing 80-foot frontage where 100 is required, 7,896 square foot lot where 20,000 is required, a 4-foot side yard setback, and a 7.1 rear yard setback from the existing house where 15 is required, and a variance for a 28% lot coverage where 25% is allowed. Okay, and the petition is here. Please give your name and address to Stephanie.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Lisa McGloin. I'm an attorney. I was retained a day or two ago to
Okay.
try and help the petitioner,
Okay.
who's here with her contractor, to try to present this to the board. So I'm happy to address any questions and issues and also present, but they're here to testify as well. This is, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Rosa Martinez, owner of R&J.
So I'm John Duran, I'm general contractor.
Okay. So, and your clients are gonna own or occupy the house?
Ms. Martinez's intention is to own or occupy.
Okay.
And I would like to just present this petition that she did go around and meet with
Okay.
someone at my suggestion, if I can present it to you, Mr.
Sure.
Chairman. I know she did not have a neighborhood meeting, but I don't think she's done this before. So I think she was a little bit unknowing, and I think some of the neighbors may have some questions. I would like to say that based on my review of the architectural drawings, that the advertisement appears to be inaccurate insofar as if you look at the actual plans, and I blew it up because I couldn't read it, because I don't have the best eyesight here, but it says maximum building area as far as lot coverage. I believe it's 22%, not 28%.
Well, we,
But it's advertised.
25.
Say it again?
You think it's only 22?
Yes.
That's what the contractor is telling me.
Oh, so you don't need that?
And it's saying that we need that. I'm just looking at this, from the drawings, it appears to say maximum building area is 25, and it says that the proposed would be 22% coverage.
All right.
So unless I'm misreading this, it's a key on the architect's plans.
Okay.
So I don't know that relief's needed.
Yeah, I don't think the board would find that being a major issue anyway.
Certainly. So,
Going from 25 to 28. So even if we left and granted to 28, it just came a little.
okay, so just
Do you
trying
agree
to,
with me, Mr. O'Day? If we gave you that little bit of a cushion, in
certainly,
case something changed.
certainly.
Mr. Chairman, we don't have architecturals. We just have a plot plan.
Do you have architectural?
No, she's referring.
I do. No, I'm referring
I
to,
think you're just referring to.
I'm referring to drawings that I have that I didn't understand that you didn't have, which I'm happy to submit, but I didn't know that they weren't submitted, Mr. Chairman. My apologies.
That's okay.
So I do have a set of drawings here with proposed versus existing. I do have some photographs of the house, which I'm happy to submit. But if I could just tell you about what her intention is as far as the project goes. This is an existing three-family dwelling that's on the property, and she's
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Sorry, three-bedroom. My apologies. Single-family, three-bedroom. No, you're right. It's an existing three-bedroom on the property. It is currently one height. The intention is to go up slightly. It's still not going to increase the height. We're not asking for any height relief. We're still well within the height requirements of the town. The total building right now is, I believe, 33 feet high that she's proposing, and as you know, the town requirement's at 35. They are putting in an additional 2 bathrooms and making just a larger downstairs living space and upstairs bedrooms is the intention. They would be moving the existing garage that is on the premises, and the garage currently is on a bump out on the plan to the left of the existing plan. They would be removing that and putting a garage directly next to the house. So I'm not sure if you have these plans, Mr. Chairman. I didn't bring copies because I thought you had copies. But that is just showing the house with the 2-car garage attached to the left side of the house. It's not going into the setbacks. It's not making it any more non-conforming. We're not going any further into the existing setbacks that are present. And here's a copy of the drawing of the property, which I think some people might have not seen yet, but I think some people have. I'm not clear on that. So basically, we can't change the existing building. The existing building is already into the setback. And what is proposed here, she's going off to the left side of that, bumping out the house slightly and going up slightly, and proposing to put a garage that's attached that would be centered into the middle of the property so that it's not any more non-conforming than it already is. So I would suggest to this board that it's no more detrimental to the neighborhood, and in fact, it would be an improvement to the existing structure that is there and in conformance with the other houses in the neighborhood.
Any questions from the board? Stephanie, you've recused yourself, didn't you?
Yes, but I can still...
You can't ask questions, you can't even ask questions.
I'm happy to answer it.
That's okay.
You're recused.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Chairman? They need it. I'm sorry.
You only get him in trouble, that's what I'm saying. Mr. Rossetti?
Yeah. How many bedrooms are you gonna have in the house when it's done?
The same number as existing. It's 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Oh, 4? I'm sorry. 4 extra. 4.
You're adding 1 bedroom,
Yep.
and above the garage, there's gonna be rooms there.
The master,
Gonna be the
that's where the
master
master is, yep.
Okay, so that's the one you're adding? Okay. Okay, and the garage is gonna come down,
Correct.
okay, and you're gonna have a 2-car garage
Yes.
under the master bedroom,
Correct. Yes.
okay? And the deck is staying out in front?
Yes.
Okay,
We're not changing anymore.
okay. And,
We're not changing anything against the existing right sideline or the right side of the property, and we're not going any further back. We're coming forward with everything else that we're building so that it's in the setback, but we can't change the existing rear lot that the building already is existing at.
okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Roderick?
On the architectural plan that you provided, the floor plan, the garage is now labeled shed. Is there going to be a shed in the place of the garage, or is that just a misrepresentation?
Just coming down.
So there's no shed going up after the garage goes down?
Yeah.
Okay.
The existing, right? You're looking at the existing?
So I'm looking at your plot plan, which shows the garage, which says
Yes.
the garage to be removed. And
Yeah.
then on the plans your lawyer just passed out to us, it has a shed in its location.
Yeah, so that's gonna be
Okay.
coming down.
Can I see what you're
Yeah.
referring to? I'm sorry to come in.
So on this one here, we have the garage.
Yeah, that garage is going.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure our shed wasn't going back
Yep.
in its place.
No, it isn't.
Anything else from the board before I open it up to the audience?
Right, but where is the shed?
Oh, guest bedroom, that's right. Whoever did the plan, the architectural drawings originally labeled that shed, but it's the garage that's coming down. It's a shed that's there right now.
It's gonna be removed.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, now, anyone from the audience who would like to ask something, say one at a time up here? Please. To the podium and give your name and address to Stephanie.
Hi, Corinne Dapolito, Director Butter, 50 Evergreen Street. I'll try to make it short. 48 years ago, two young people came to Saugus to buy a house. We immediately loved the neighborhood. Quiet dead-end street. We went inside the small cape and fell in love with the sun-filled kitchen and the view. We could see open streets till you couldn't see anymore. I have pictures. Can I give them to you? I have two. Okay. We bought the house and started a family. I volunteered at the Lyndhurst Elementary School when my children started to go to school. We quickly grew attached to Saugus and became homeowners. Years later, the land next to us became available, and we purchased it knowing Saugus, 50 Evergreen Street, would be our forever home. We barbecue out back in the summer and enjoy our neighbors who have lived on our small street much longer than our 48 years. Please understand, by allowing this almost 600-foot addition, what we stand to lose. Respectfully, Corinne Dapolito. That means I'm against it.
Nancy.
Okay.
My name is Anthony Dapolito, 50 Evergreen Street, Saugus, Mass. I didn't see any plot plan ahead of time that I could distinguish which way the house is going, but from the amount of space they say they're going to need to do this, it doesn't add up. If they're going across the entire back of my house where the garage is supposedly going to be torn down, and it's going to have an upstairs, the square footage they said can't exist. Because that would only be maybe a 30 by 20 addition, and the way they're talking, it's much more. But besides that, I haven't heard any mention of the water issue. I've been not fighting with the town, but trying to get the town to do something about the flooding. If he puts a building with a foundation, I'm imagining, across the backyard, I now have a swimming pool. Because the water normally gets pumped out of my house, runs under my house, in front of the existing garage, into the woods behind the garage. That will no longer happen. It's going to back up right into my yard. And when I tell you I'll have a swimming pool, it's not an exaggeration. People here have been out to see my water issue. And as of yet, it hasn't been fixed. So I would say until the water issue gets solved or resolved, this is unacceptable because I'm gonna be flooded. If you've been by the property, if that garage comes down and the new garage is extended there, you'll see that the water can't get by anywhere. It's gonna puddle up deep, and I mean deep, if you watch the water come across my property at any half-significant rainstorm.
From the street.
From the street. 50 Evergreen Street side. Goes under the house, into my house,
Now, you
I
own
pump it
50
up.
just 50 Evergreen.
And the
Yes.
property next door, 52.
I own the property next door.
Away from this house.
Yes.
So you're not
Yes.
even directly behind
No,
it.
I am, 50 is.
We are at
Look
the
at
50.
pictures. Directly,
You 46?
50.
46 is the property.
I look at the
that
plot
floods.
plan and I see your house does not show the house directly behind it. Is the plot plan wrong?
I'm guessing because I already
Hilltop
said.
Meadow,
Can I take a peek at it?
I'll let the attorney see what I'm saying. If this is the subject, these gentlemen live here.
My house
And then he owns 46.
is here.
So it's either this one
So
or
where's 46?
which lot?
This whole lot.
So you're not 50 or 46?
No, we're
No.
50.
50. That's wrong.
See, here's the pictures.
You're not 46.
This is the house.
46 is vacant.
If you look at the
You're in our
pictures,
kitchen here, and you look out our kitchen
No,
window.
I have one person, one, no, you one person.
You can show them that, and then this is the garage.
this is,
Driveway, and this is their house, 50. It is right by, see, right
that's
behind
the
you.
garage they're talking about. It's right there.
Okay.
If I look out my back door, I'm looking at
That's what I'm
that.
looking at right there.
This is,
Yep. Yep.
But that's all coming down.
well, not yet.
This is what they're proposing. This is what,
That brown house, you see how it goes across the
this
yard?
is coming down.
Okay.
This
And
is coming
this
down.
is
This new
the,
addition is going in the center of the property,
in the center
where
of
it
the
says
property.
red. You see it in red. This is coming down.
Whatever you get,
So how
my mulch is no
is
longer
that
running
gonna
off,
be
but I'm still getting
a
all my
garage?
It's under.
And then, how tall is the building going to be?
It's not going to exceed,
35 feet.
it's not going to exceed that.
35 feet is a lot of feet. Well, if you look out,
It's within the
It's
zoning
gonna be the
bylaw.
same, basically the same height it seems.
okay, and you see that? If that gets extended in front of my house, or the back of my house, there goes the light, and also, there goes the water issue.
So their house is lower than yours.
By 2 feet.
How does the water drain uphill?
It doesn't drain uphill. It comes from under my house into the cellar and along the side of the cellar and dumps into their yard in front of the old garage, right about here. And then it flows this way into the woods. And by them buildings right across, it's no longer, and I don't think those measures are anywhere near what they're talking about.
Well, sir, back to the 44. This is a certified plot plan from a very respected surveyor, so I really don't think there's any misleading here.
Wow,
If you would like, you can always object that.
that's coming down, and you're telling me,
See it right here, it's coming off the existing, right here. Just see it.
This is a very tiny, this subject is, to me, appears to be a very small home.
This is the garage.
Very small, and this project, I think would be, appears to be a benefit to the neighborhood, not a detriment.
Not for us.
I'm not really guessing that because of the height.
But
The height is the same height as what's existing.
It's actually 43, not 23.
That the only problem is that height isn't there right now. And when it becomes there, if I was thinking of putting solar panels on, they're gonna be in darkness.
No,
No, they won't.
first off, you don't, solar panels doesn't come into play here. And that wouldn't make it different. You put all the solar panels you want. It's not gonna take the sun out of the picture for you. You're not protected from a view of the street. I mean, it's not like you're losing an ocean view here.
Well, I think I'm gonna have a problem with water. That's my main
The
reason.
water problem is
If the
your
contractor can
problem,
address.
and if your water is coming onto their property,
No, it's not our water, it's the street.
It's streets water.
well, it's coming from your property.
It's coming from the street.
If I can
But it's-
interrupt, please? If I can interrupt? Can you guys sit down for a second? I want to hear from the contractor. You can sit down for a second.
Okay.
Have you taken into consideration what he's talking about? There being water in this area? Because I have heard from other neighbors that there is some water over there that can be an issue.
Yes, I think it's, if there is a water problem, I don't think it's caused by the house anyway. Even if we remove the garage is gonna be relocated. I don't think it's gonna be a problem because of the water. I don't personally see the problem myself because I'm not living over there. But if there is any issue with the water, we can make a commitment to find out what is the problem. Because I don't think it is caused for the garage or for the house. If it is coming from the street, it's gonna be affecting all neighborhood, not only the gentleman. So I don't think it's removing the garage and relocating the garage is gonna affect anyway. The water problem is gonna be the same because we're just gonna remove something that is blocking the view of the house and it's close to his property. So we're just gonna relocate what is really taking some view from his perspective of view in this house. Other than that, I don't think it is a problem
Is
for
there
the
any,
water.
okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience?
Yes.
Well,
Can I
come on
say-
up one at a time, you gotta,
I can't, I have a bad knee, so I'm not trying to get up. But I live at 58, and the water problem's been there for 5 years. The town doesn't really know what to do.
only 5 years?
Only 5 years, we've been working, we've been trying to fix this
And
problem.
you've been there a long time, right?
57 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and you've only noticed it over the last 5 years?
Not us, we got longer.
No, they're longer. No, it's always been a problem. For years, it's
So
always
you're
been a
just saying the
problem.
last 5 years?
5 years.
Working
So
on it,
we've
you
been
guys know.
working to get
Get
it
it for 5
rectified.
years.
Okay, for the last 5 years
The
you've
town
been
came up 5 years
down.
ago, and
But
we've
it's been
never,
there
they
forever.
cannot, they can't fix it. They don't know what to do,
Well, they can fix it,
but they don't want to pay for
but
it.
the money
Yeah.
hasn't been approved.
Yeah.
I've gone through 3 furnaces in my house because the water that comes into my basement, if I don't pump it out fast enough, it rots the furnace. I mean, if you want to come and look at my
No, I don't.
basement, I know people have been down to assess what the street needs to be done to rectify the water problem.
And who's the people, DPW?
The engineers
yes.
have come, engineers too, Saugus.
Engineers,
They've all been down.
Yeah.
well, what it is, years ago, and if you wish, I'll get back up here. Years ago, when they put sewerage in on 50 Evergreen Street or Evergreen Street, they removed a boulder about the size of this room, loaded it on a flatbed and took it away. And instead of bringing fill back in to replace it, they just kind of scratched around the area to fill the hole. And now, the hill comes down and there's a hollow right there where that boulder used to be. So, with the new development on the other side, our water has been increased. That was an issue with the contractors then that were building it. They had to build a little well system.
The 102 Century.
I forget what that it may be.
102, it's a 40B.
Say again?
It's a 40B project.
But anyway, that water, unless the street gets rid of the hump that's stopping it from going down the hill, it drains into my house. And I know
It's gonna go into their house.
some people don't care, and it's not a big deal, it's only water.
We can't, I just still looking to see where this is gonna change anything.
Well, I can show you on that plot plan.
The water that's going in him is gonna go to their
The
house.
water
How are
that
they
comes
gonna
in
correct it?
That's
right
their problem,
now.
it's not gonna be yours.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's gonna flood till you go back in.
It's gonna start building up. I'm the dead end. Everything floats into mine, leaves, dirt, everything. I get it all.
It's just, whatever doesn't come into my yard goes over that little hump and down to her yard. But, right now, my house is about that big on 50th, Green, not 46. The water right now gets pumped out of my cellar, flushed with the foundation. I guess that's the way you have to do it.
I have a good feel for what you're saying.
And
I'd like to
then-
hear from anyone else.
It goes behind here in front of the garage and dumps into the woodlands that are there.
You can't do that.
What can they do? You want me to bottle it?
No, that's you directing water.
No, I am not directing the water. The water is directing itself.
Is there anyone else?
It's its own level.
We've heard everything, I've heard what you have to say.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in the audience?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Name and address?
Dave Johnson, I own 18 Palmetto Street.
Okay.
So I'm in the butter. So my question,
Related to the Johnsons that own this?
yeah, my grandfather owned that
The
house.
subject house, okay.
My grandfather owned it.
Okay,
Then my
I just-
uncle, then,
Okay.
so
So you are at the end, right?
I'm a relative of,
But 18 is across from 24,
18 is next to.
next to.
So your garage
Oh,
was
okay.
carved out of my property.
Okay.
Many years ago. When my grandfather owned that whole area. So, my question is, they were kind enough to give me a picture, but are you raising the roof of the original house?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and it's gonna be under the requirement, under 35. It's
We're
gonna
not
be
asking
33.
for any relief for the...
No, but it's gonna be a full 2 stories, or, right now it's like a,
Yes.
so this is it?
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like
I know
a
it's small,
a 3/4 story, so your plan is to raise the roof?
Yep, the drawings, I left the drawings on there.
Oh, sorry, I covered it up. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a lot bigger than it looks like. Okay, so you're gonna have a consistent roof line across all the buildings.
But underneath zoning requirements.
But it's gonna be okay. That was one of my main questions. You're raising the roof of the original house. It'll match the roof of the new
Yes.
building, and it'll be 2 garages on the ground level. Okay, so it's fairly big structure. My concern is, okay, you do all that, unbeknownst to any of the water issues. Sorry. The garage, I just want to make sure that there's no structure put back, because the garage breaks every rule known to mankind, right?
They plan on tearing down that garage.
You have no plans
And they
putting
put the
anything
garage
back
on
in
that.
there.
Mr. Chairman, we're happy that any decision by this board stipulates that the garage won't be going back and all that.
I don't want to
That's
see
not
like a shed or some sort of freestanding, goat barn or anything like that. Yeah, okay. But that's my only main concern. The water issues, yes, for anybody that doesn't know, across the street, there's 2 houses. The one house that's raised up a foot, that used to be a pond when I was a child. That's where all the water went from that whole upper neighborhood. It all flowed down the street. In the spring, that was 2 feet deep, 3 feet deep, and in the summer we were hunting, salamanders and pollywogs in like 6 inches of water. So when that house got put in there, that screwed everything, because the water.
That's the house with 2 garages, right?
Yeah, so when you come out your driveway and you look straight across to the right, that house, that used to be like a pond. And the next house was my cousin Steven's house. So
blue
the,
one.
yeah, so the water, now I think it's my nephew's house. The water used to come down and go behind my nephew's house. That was the natural flow. And they went and put that house in there, and it blocked everything. So now it all kind of backs up. Now what happens over at Evergreen Street, that's a swale. Because you got a cliff over here, you got a cliff over here, and if you go down at that part of Evergreen, it goes like this, and that swale is your backyard. So whatever you do with this may or may not affect that.
But removing the garage, don't you think that that's gonna help though?
The garage has a stone foundation, I believe, so it doesn't really have a foundation.
Yeah.
No, it's just sitting on the rocks.
Sitting on the ground, yeah.
And so I don't see how that,
Because we can also do what we did in the condominiums in East Boston.
you might have to put some, something into the, I don't know if it's allowed to put it into the drainage system.
No.
Right, so, and I don't want it to go into my property, which is right next door. I already have enough problems. So I'm not against a full redesign. I know a lot of people here have a problem with the water, and I understand that. My big concern is I want a stipulation that says there's no structure put where the garage is.
Right. No, it's, have you seen the new proposed plot plan?
I just have this one.
Yeah, it's the same.
Same, it's the same. I just haven't seen any.
Seems like, there is growth on the property, but it seems it's going to the middle of the property.
Yes, I mean, it's coming close to my property border, but it's within the setback, so.
Yes.
So the empty lot, that's your lot?
That's my lot.
For me.
Yes, we need to talk afterwards.
All right. Anything else? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr.
I don't need a fence. I don't like fences.
Anyone else in the audience?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Sharon Koval. I live at 11 Ferndale Street. And for all you guys who know the town of Saugus, 11 Ferndale is on what I guess Saugus would call a paper street. All the rest of Ferndale is up at the top. So this property that we're talking about, the water from their house to Sandy's house, when it stops at Sandy's house, big giant cliffs down there, that's where my house is, at the bottom of the cliff. So my backyard has a huge rock, and I own some land at the top of that rock, which abuts up to his land, which is where this house is going to be built to. So water is my concern. Again, water is an issue. We had a lot of landscaping done not that long ago. We went before the town. I had all my brand new mulch down over my driveway. So anytime there's any kind of change in the land up there, trees taken down, anything, water is again a big issue. So I'm very concerned about disturbing that land up there. For water issues, for anything, for the rocks. I mean, we've had big boulders coming down in the yard. I got grandkids running around. I've had big pieces of rock breaking off. So I'm concerned about the stability of the land, of the rocks. I would love to have an engineer from the town come out there and say it's safe for us to do digging, for us to be building a new foundation, digging up land that has been left for many years. Like he said, it was a pond. It's a wet spot. And I'm really worried about that, about stuff coming down over, even coming over onto our property, onto our land, onto our backyard. Because you literally could climb up this big rock, and we own a piece of that land. My husband's got all that.
20 feet back.
About 20 feet back, and then it's the vacant lot, which butts right up by their lot. So I'm just very concerned that there's going to be some kind of damage. I'm concerned about the safety of my grandkids, quite frankly. They're at my house 3 days a week, running around in the backyard, and I just don't want anything to happen. Damage to my own home. Moving the earth, anything. Anytime you take a tree down and you disrupt the soil where the water flows. So that's my big concern. I mean, I'd love people to have a nice home. We all want everybody to have a nice home to live in. So that's my worry.
Okay.
You understand where my land is?
Yeah, thank you.
Can I have a comment?
I have a question for you. Have you done any work with the foundation to see what's there?
Yes.
what you're gonna need to do. Can you comment to that first?
Okay. One of them is the lady say, and I understand you concerned about disturbing the land when you do a foundation. It's a big difference when you do a basement or a crawl space because it's gonna be a hollow space inside, so the pressure of the land is gonna change. But when you do a slab, you do just the foundation and you fill it out again with the dirt and do the platform or concrete. It's not gonna be different in the pressure because it's not gonna be nothing inside that is hollow. So the pressure of the land is not gonna be disturbing. So I understand your concern, but it's not gonna be basement and it's not gonna be cross space. It's gonna be a flat surface.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a slab.
Even just the concern of them
No,
up
no, no,
there with big machines, you know.
And I understand your concern.
Yeah.
If fortunately,
excavators.
when you do a foundation, you need just to dig in, but when you fill it out again, it's like nothing happened, just to hold the concrete slab. So
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, when we had a lot of landscaping done just recently.
Absolutely.
We had Stefanos, who you're probably all very familiar with. We wanted them to take some trees down at the top of our rock. They would not go up there. They said no. They went, they looked at the land, they said, no way I'm taking an excavator on that land and disturbing all of that soil.
Yeah.
So they would not do that. We had Keith's Tree come out. They would not take trees down up there. So it's more than one professional, landscapers, a tree removal, reputable tree removal companies that won't go up there. So that's all. Like I said, I'm worried about the safety of the family, and I know that if something happens, I don't want to go knocking on my new neighbor's door. It's the town of Saugus that's going to be responsible for making the decision to do this. So that's what I put in your hands, that I'm concerned
Hold
about.
on. Do you have any plans for any tree removal?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any plans for any tree removal?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to have to remove trees. It's full of trees.
No, so much smaller, no.
Oh, maybe not on her property. but I don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
They're going to be
And one of
moving
the,
it all around.
and one of the things in the close, when we trying to build the garage, is a flat surface, so it's not in a hill, or we are not, close to any edge of the property, so it's in a very flat space.
Yeah, I know
So
where
we
it is.
just-
I was just walking in it yesterday, so some of it I own, so right up top there, so. I just want the town of
No,
Saugus to
yeah,
know. They're
Anybody
not
else from the
gonna look for it.
audience?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
question if you don't mind, the contractor. Are you doing full 4-foot frost walls for the foundation?
I'm a little bit,
Are you doing full frost walls 4 feet deep for the foundation, or are you doing a frost protected slab?
we have to go for the 4 feet foundation footing.
So the foundation is
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
4 feet?
And then it's gonna be the 40 inches of concrete slab. So
So
it's,
my suggestion may be do a frost protected slab, but you don't have to go down the 4 feet. That would potentially eliminate water issues. Because you're
Yeah,
not
we
sending
can do that too.
the foundation 4 feet inside.
That's beyond my expertise. That's what the contractors did.
Excuse me, but isn't that all rock back there?
I'm not familiar
It's
with
not-
that.
Oh, okay. Because they start blasting.
Is there anyone else from the audience?
Blasting.
Robert DeVola, 49 Evergreen Street. So I'm across the street from them. I'm on top of the hill. I was getting water in my basement whenever it rained. So I had to put a French drain in. So anytime I wash my car or anything I do in my driveway, water goes right to their yard. It goes under their house and it's gonna go to your yard. So if they dig a foundation in, it's gonna block it. Unless they put a perimeter or something around it. Because it's gonna back into his yard.
I think that as a contractor, you have to think about, you're gonna have to do.
There's a water problem. There's a water problem in that area. I don't know if they're aware of it or not.
No, we're hearing it. But you're gonna have to make,
we need to address any issue we have with the water before we dig or something. We can make sure there's not gonna affect more than it's right now.
So I have a question on the current structure.
Yes, sir.
yes, if you wanna come back up, Mr. Johnson.
So, Dave Johnson again, on the current structure, is that a stone foundation?
It's a poor concrete foundation.
It's a poured concrete foundation, so is it gonna support the extra weight of a?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely, okay. Okay, because I know, I've been in there, I know, it tends to flood, and there's a sump pump in
Yeah,
there.
stone foundation is not allowed in the area because the land,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's not gonna support.
Okay. Anyone else from the audience?
Can I just see what it looks like? I've never seen the house, the addition.
Right, I think it's up there.
This might help you right here. I laid it out right here. So basically,
It's 586 feet,
yeah,
right?
see, this is 25 by 25.
What's this? Is this,
This is the
where's the
garage we're
house?
talking about. This is the existing house right here.
That's the house, okay.
This is the existing house, so we're talking about bumping out the existing house about 6 feet there, and this is just a 25 by 25 addition right there. This is the rear of the property. The garage is over here. This is the existing side.
And so the second floor where I've been in the house, the second floor right now, the eaves, are those gonna be made into like a squared off dormer, so it'll be higher?
Yep, yes, it does. It looks like. Did I hand it over? I handed it over. So that's a side. This.
Somebody taking the elevation.
I think that's a. So it's 25 feet tall.
You're talking about the house behind.
Who loves the control here? Is there anyone else in the audience after they look through the?
So what will be where the garage is now?
Nothing, we're proposing putting some brush, like some
So where will
bushes
the
in.
majority of the addition go? Will it
In
go
the middle of the
to the
lot.
front?
Towards the front, yeah.
Towards the front.
Yep,
Right
so
in
it's
the
on
middle
the
of the
plan.
property, basically.
Could I, Mr. Rossetti, can I borrow your plan there? So ma'am, here you go, it's right here. So this is the existing house right here.
Yeah.
So let's go right here, in the middle of the lot. So it's not going backwards. And this
So
will
where
come
am
down.
I?
You're back here.
No, I'm 50. I don't know
You're
what
over here.
46 is. No, I'm right behind. I'm
Oh,
right
you're over here?
behind.
You're right here?
I am,
Yes.
This is the existing
Directly.
house.
Yeah,
So where
fine.
are you in relation to the house? Over here.
yeah.
So you're over here. Yep. So
Where's
this is
the
going to the left of the house,
Let me
ma'am.
see, I'm trying to, where's the pictures?
But just so you know, it's
Thank
going
you.
right here to the left. Let me just
One
show you.
person at a
So it's
time,
going right
please.
here to the left.
I just want to show you.
Yep.
This is the house.
Is that the back of the house?
That's the back of the house.
Okay.
This is me, right here. That's
going-
my fence.
So it's going away from you. It's going
So it's going
up
that way.
and forward.
And where the garage is,
That's coming down.
and what's going to
Oh,
be
sorry,
there?
hold on. Is this the driveway right here?
Yep.
So it's going up here, right in this area. This is going
So-
away. And he's going to put bushes. We're going to try to put
So
bushes back.
it's going
here.
across here, right?
Yes.
And my window in my house is right here.
Okay. That's the side of the house right here?
That's the side of Mr. John, well, I call him Mr. Johnson.
It's
That's the
okay.
side of his house.
Yep. So it'd be on the side right here. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Rossetti.
Anyone else from the audience? Does the board have any more comments?
Motion to close.
We have a motion to close, from
Seconded.
Mr. Rossetti, that's been seconded. And remember, Stephanie and Bob, you're not voting on this. Okay, you want to read it in?
Sure. Okay, on the petition of RJ Investment LLC, owner of property at 29 Palmetto Street, lot 403, plan 1031, seeking a special permit to add 576 square foot addition and require, what we're gonna do, that's the
Yeah,
variance.
removing.
Okay. And remove existing garage. Okay. Grounds for the special permit would be no more detrimental, and that's it.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Seconded.
Stephanie?
Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Ms. Harmon? Yes. Mr. Travers?
Yes. Now on the variances?
Okay, on the variance, variance for pre-existing 80-foot frontage where 100 is required, 7,896 square foot lot size where 20,000 is required, a 4.0 side yard setback and a 7.1 rear yard setback from existing house where 15 is required, and a variance for lot coverage of 28 where 25 is allowed. Grounds would be the shape of the lot, the topography that we've heard a lot about, and the soil conditions.
And to remain
You
as,
wanna remain a single family, and that the garage that's presently existing would be
well,
removed
that's already in the
and not replaced.
special permit. Any other additional conditions we need to put in regarding the water, or?
I don't think so. The water's not coming from their property.
Okay. Do I have a second from Mr. Okay. And I just wanted to note too, as petitioner's attorney mentioned, it may only be 22%, not the 28, but we're reading it as a 28 and not really making a
Understood.
difference. Stephanie?
Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Ms. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Travers?
Yes. Great, that's been approved, and I just hope that you'll work really hard with the neighbors to make sure, and before you go very far, to make sure that the water is, you know, once you put down the initial slab, you might want to do a test to see how the water's running before you move forward. Take it easy on them. It's a big change for the neighborhood. You have to understand that. I mean, they had a little house there, and now I know you put a big house there. And
Can
there's-
I
there's
just make a
difference.
comment? We understand that you guys been living there for years and years, and we don't intend to disturb you. We'll try very hard to work with you guys. And the house is gonna be gorgeous. That's gonna be better for the neighborhood. Probably you don't see it that way, but it's
Hopefully
gonna.
everything will work out.
Have a nice, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Not that it's gonna do any good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
So, Peter and Frank on this one?
Yes.
On the petition of Charles M. Swain, owners of property at 16 Lawndale Avenue, lot number 2829, plan number 3002, seeking a special permit for a family accessory dwelling, adding a stove, most of the unit is finished, and variances for a pre-existing 1.7/0.3, I think, foot front yard, setback with 15 required, and a pre-existing 42 square foot lot where 20,000 is required. And again, I know the building inspector continues to do this, but we're not gonna grant a variance or hear a variance on a 42,000 square foot lot for 20,000 square feet. I'm not even gonna bring that through because it's unnecessary, it's a pre-existing dwelling, and they're asking us to put a variance on that, and I don't want to deal with that. Do you agree with me as an attorney?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna scratch that 20,000 square feet. It's just not required, Mrs. Swain. You got, it's not needed, it doesn't need to be there.
Which doesn't need to be there? In the,
You're a pre-existing 42 square foot lot where 20,000 is required. The house is already there, that's grandfathered.
Yeah.
That didn't need to be written in there. You have that, Stephanie? And if you could, your name?
Yes, I'm Charles Swain. I live at 16 Lawndale Ave. It's a family house. It's 100 years old in June.
When I saw,
anybody?
a couple things that I saw.
Okay.
A little bit different. It's, most accessory units, they're not on the second floor, they're in the basement. Probably in 10 years, this is probably only the second or third one we've seen. It hasn't been down in the basement, but up on the second floor.
Right.
So that makes a little bit, changes our thought process a little bit. For Mr. Northup, before he was on the board, his house is like that. So you're gonna need to put a second egress, I think you're aware of that, in?
Yes, the building inspector told me what I needed to do. I told him I already had the plan to add a door where a very large window was
Okay.
and a set of
Yeah,
stairs.
it's all about safety as well.
Yep. So I've already spoken to him about that.
All right. And the other thing is, I think it's been mentioned to you, when you have an accessory unit, it's supposed to have 4 parking spaces. And I know you're really challenged on that.
Yes,
And I can see that.
I do have a camper that is in a parking space that actually holds 2 cars.
Okay,
The camper was temporary because it was being repaired.
okay.
It's been removed, so you can actually have two off-street parking spots.
And it seems like the side of the house to the street, you've asphalted up to the side of the house.
Yes.
So you really kind of, all right, so.
Actually,
We'll
three.
stretch the, as
Three.
long as the board is okay going along with that.
Yeah.
I'm stretching the rules on that one by saying, because they are required to have 4 spaces.
I didn't know if you wanted to look at that spot. That's off-street.
Okay. Okay,
It's tight, but 2 can fit in there.
yep, okay.
Yep.
Do I have any questions for the board, for the petitioner? Who's gonna be living there?
My son Shane, he's been in the house with me for the last, since the pandemic,
Okay,
and he's gonna continue to,
just one person up there?
no, he's his fiancee.
Okay.
They're getting married in October of '26.
Okay. Have you filed that name with Stephanie?
Yes.
In complete, the
Yes.
package is complete?
Yep.
Okay. So you're gonna have to deal with, once you get that egress, and you're gonna have to deal with the fire department,
Yep.
and make sure that's all set. Any other questions on the board?
I have no questions.
Any questions from the audience? Okay. What does the board say?
Motion to close the hearing?
Okay, and is that seconded?
Second.
And somebody want to read it in?
I can read it in.
Okay, thank you.
On the petition of Charles M. Swain, owner of the property at 16 Lawndale Ave, lot number 2829, plan number 3002, seeking a special permit for a family accessory dwelling, adding a stove. Most of the unit is finished. Move to grant the special permit on the grounds it would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood.
You can run the variances.
Do the
Run the
variance?
variances, yeah.
And move to grant the variance for a pre-existing 1.7 foot / 0.3 foot front yard setback where 15 feet is required.
That's it. Don't, you drop the other one.
Yep, yep. And move to grant that based on the shape, soil, topography, where the house sits on the lot.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Nope, well, we got to vote on it first.
Oh,
We didn't
I'm
approve
waiting,
you.
I'm
The
waiting
second guy to do that,
for
man.
the vote. I had to thank you for the first
That's-
part of
We need a
it.
second on that, Ms. Herman? Ms. Herman seconds that?
Sure.
Stephanie?
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Ms. Herman? Yes. Mr. Norfolk?
Yes.
Mr. Saugus?
Yes. You're all set.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all alone.
Where's my neighbors?
You're all alone, I
Where's all
know.
my neighbors?
All right, let me read this first. On the petition of Juliana Silva, owner of the property at 9 Maple Street, lot number... Maple Road, I apologize.
One is off of.
Yeah, I understand the street's different. Lot number 5, 6, and 2, plan number 1019, seeking a special permit to remove an existing house and we build a two-story home, and a variance, this one I don't mind, and a variance for an 18,000 square foot lot where 20 is required. Okay, and your name, you're Juliana,
Yes, I'm Juliana Silva.
and you're living at the property right now?
Yes.
Okay, and just quick idea what you're looking to do.
Our plan was just to renovate the house, but when our engineer got to the house to do the drawing, he didn't approve the foundation because it's concrete blocks and the blocks are empty. So he didn't approve us to do a renovation with the existing foundation, so we decided to go as a no construction.
Okay. All right. Do I have any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't have any house plans. I don't know what the house looks like.
We have here, they only
Oh, we
asked
got
us to
the plot
submit the plot plan
No
that we
worries.
have here.
I only have a plot plan.
There, you can show and tell us.
Yeah, this is the proposed house, three-story.
And so you're the contractor?
No, he's my
Oh,
husband.
you're, that's right.
Yes.
Okay.
The house is already 2 stories, but the
Two-story, yeah.
roof is
Yeah, I
already
know.
completed. Yeah.
I did drive by today, I saw, said, gee, they're tearing that down, but it must have some problem.
One house gonna be,
I wanted to see the outside, thank you.
Yeah, no, I went by, I did go by. Okay, very one.
Mr. Chairman, if I may. Are you excavating the side yard to have those garage doors below grade?
It's already in the basement, so we're just gonna do the doors on the side because it's already a garage. I don't know if you passed by, but it's already a garage that doesn't fit any car. So we're gonna do the garage, the doors by the sides, and we're going to fill the front.
Okay, so to the side of the house going towards your neighbors, you're gonna be excavating that land to have access to that garage, right?
no, it's gonna be the same level.
No, same level,
Okay.
yes.
It's gonna be,
All right.
obviously, just for the foundations, like a foot down,
Okay,
and the ground's gonna be the same.
perfect.
It'll be a three-bedroom home?
Hmm?
3 bedrooms?
4, it's already 4.
4 bedrooms, how many bathrooms? How many baths?
4.
How many bathrooms?
How many bathrooms?
4.
4 bathrooms, Sue?
Yeah.
4 bathrooms?
How many halves?
It's gonna be
I don't think you need 4.
2
I don't know if the
upstairs,
town will allow that.
1 from the first floor, 2 for the second floor, 1 for the master, 1 for regular, for the kids, 1 on the first floor, and 1 in the basement.
I just counted 6. So you're gonna have 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms.
Yes. 1 for the basement,
Well,
1 for the
we'll have
first
to make
floor.
that contingent upon approval by the building inspector. I just don't know if they'll allow 4 bathrooms.
He already, yeah, the only issue he said was because we're gonna be considered new construction, and then we had to, but he approved the plan already.
The only reason we are here right now, because you can see the plot plan, the one you have is different, but you see here, it's a 19.8, we have to move the house back. That's, so now it's a 20 feet
Yeah,
by 6.
I'm just saying the number of bathrooms is just unusual.
Oh, yeah, but.
That's the only reason, just make sure the building inspector says it's okay, that's all.
Yeah.
He says it's okay, we have no problem.
Okay.
He could come back and say, no, you can only have 3.
Okay.
I can't promise you that. We're gonna make that a condition.
Okay.
Okay.
But if he says 4 is okay, we're okay,
Okay.
all right?
That's good.
And I just wanna make sure you understand, when you knock a house down, it's not easy. Building inspector becomes very involved, make sure there's no, in the old house, no asbestos, the insulation was done right, everything gets taken away properly. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, we have experience with that. We are builders.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so I'm talking to somebody who
Yeah,
knows.
but we live there. We've been here for 5 years.
That's okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Mhm.
A lot of times people, they don't realize that.
Yeah,
it's
this
not just-
construction was
if
supposed to
They think
be
it's just knock it
done.
down. And
Was
that's not
supposed
the
to
way
be
it is.
done
They
when we
gotta-
bought the house, but because COVID came and then we were like just
You gotta
extending.
watch for asbestos contamination all through that when you knock it down, okay?
Yep.
Any comments from the audience? I don't think so. Anything else from the board? Do I have a motion?
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second it.
Okay, and who wants to read it in?
I'll read it. On the petition, Juliana Silva, owner of property at 9 Maple Road, lot number 562, plan number 1019, seeking a special permit to remove existing home and rebuild a two-story home. And a variance for an 18,000 square foot lot with 20,000 feet is required. And on the grounds that it would be no more detrimental to the neighborhood. Top water, etc.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Stephanie?
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Norfolk?
Yes.
Mr. Travers?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, do we need a condition on the 4 bathrooms, or is that up to the building
Oh,
inspector?
I'm sorry. And the condition being that the building inspector services is okay with 4 baths in the home.
Okay, do we need a separate vote on that, sir?
Yes, because we added it late
Okay.
And
on the condition.
Ms. Romano?
Yes.
Mr. Federico?
Yes.
Mr. Norfolk?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Travers?
Yes. All set?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Goodbye.
So I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.